Okay, guys, welcome to a fresh and brand new episode of WrestleSlam. I'm joined by Liz, Jur, Matt, and Phil for yet again another fantastic show. And as I said, look, it's been a crazy weekend via Impact Wrestling. We had Jur on with Moose and Josh Alexander. First question on the press pass. A big thanks to Impact. They're big fans, and we are big fans of them as well. So, guys, thank you for having us on. Gail Kim introduced Jur in style, I must say. She really introduced Jur in style, which was great. And you got the questions in via Moose and Josh Alexander. And look, that's what we're going to go straight into. Impact Rebellion. In my opinion, one of the best pay-per-views of the year so far, guys. And for me, definitely a 9 out of 10. It's one of them ones I watched in full. I'm lucky to have that Fire Stick at home. So I was able to, observe and see the thing in full. And yes, I got some free time. I've got kids, but I managed to sneak away for a couple of hours and watch it. But yet again, Jur, I'm going to go straight into you. You were lucky enough to speak to Josh and Moose. You put a great question out there prior to Rebellion. First of all, a great pay-per-view. What was your take on the pay-per-view itself and the match itself?
Pay-per-view was outstanding. From start to finish, there wasn't really any bad matches. I don't normally sit down and watch the full Impact pay-per-views, because we don't get to see them live normally, and we're watching them the next day. We're trying to fly through everything, so we're not sitting there all day watching it. But I couldn't stop watching it. Like, even starting off, I know they had advertised the X Division match was supposed to be on the pre-show, so I'm glad they actually moved it on to the main card, because that match was outstanding. Yeah. And even the triple threat match at the start with Jay White and I lost his name now. Who won it? Macklin. Who won?
Steve Macklin.
Steve Macklin. Like, that was a crazy match, and I've heard rumors now that Steve Macklin is going to get a big push with Impact. So delighted for him. Some of the matches were great though, but I have to say Moose and Alexander, outstanding. 10 out of 10. That's I don't give a fuck about 5-star matches and stuff like that, but that was definitely a 5-star match. Maybe even 6 if I was written in.
The thing I liked about it is the whole story with the kid was just like, it was just so well done. When the kid came out with the earmuffs on and they brought him down to the ring and he did all his poses, it was just, you don't see those feel good moments not a lot these days.
And Phil, we know you're rooting for Impact. We know you're a big fan in general. But like you were straight onto our group chat messenger, and
I don't know how I was awake because I was at a wedding. I don't know how I was awake.
Yeah, it was a surreal weekend, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a long weekend. But I got home at like 12:30, and the show started at 12:30. So I don't know how I stayed awake. But if I don't know how they do it, but these shows just seem to get better. Especially these pay-per-views. The next one then, I suppose, Slammiversary got moved to June. That'll be an interesting show. It's just, I was talking to my brother about this. I think WWE should give some of the wrestlers like little clips. Like AJ Styles should send a video in, like a 20-second little video.
But it will be a better world if they did that. If they wanted,
That's what I mean. Like AJ Styles gave 15 years of his life, to that show. But it's just little things like that. Like they did it with Final Battle, where CM Punk and a load of others came on and just kind of wished them well. It's literally a 10-second thing. All you do is wish them well on their 20-year anniversary.
Yeah, out of respect, they should do that. Lizzie, what was your take? Look, we've seen a return of a dominant female. And look, yet again, Tasha Steelz, she's iconic. But what was your take on the pay-per-view, Lizzie? And, what did you think of the matches in general?
Same as Jerry, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's not often we get a chance to sit down and watch a pay-per-view from start to finish in full, particularly an Impact one, because, we can't always catch them live. But thoroughly enjoyed it. And it's a nod to what Phil said. They just get better and better. I just wish that they had as wide an audience, I suppose, really, or just whatever hook is needed. Do you know what I mean? And as well, to Phil's point as well, it's a shame that there's kind of like this viewpoint of a 2-horse race, because Impact is outstanding. It is, it has everything. And how greater the wrestling scene would be if we all learned to work together a bit more. I mean, there is obviously, of course, shades of that with other promotions, but obviously like the big dog, pun intended, I think a lot of wrestling fans' view and opinion would be changed if they just opened up a little bit more. You know, I know that Mickie James, like, you know, she went and she was carrying her title when she went to the Royal Rumble and stuff like that. But if anything, I kind of got the feeling it was to close the loop. And I think to get her there, they kind of said, we'll give you whatever you want because we sent you your stuff in a trash bag. You know, I don't think it was WWE coming through the boom forbidden door, you know, so yeah, but no, back to the pay-per-view. Unbelievable, fantastic. Not surprised Deonna Purrazzo lost the title at all, because of obviously the rumbles that's going on, what's going to happen with AEW and maybe Britt Baker or maybe even the Owen Hart Cup tournament. So, but yeah, stellar performance, unbelievable. And I am here for hashtag mini walking weapon, obsessed, adorable, obsessed.
Yeah, look, couldn't have said it better myself. It's a great time to be alive. And look, Joe put a very interesting fact out there that over our time, you know, via WrestleSlam, I think it was 20 people from that pay-per-view have featured on the WrestleSlam podcast. So, you know, we have a fantastic relationship with Impact Wrestling. I think the other 6 we're going to have to track down and make it a full sweep. But yet again, you know, a great pay-per-view. It was, you know, rave reviews across Twitter. As always, you know, we talk about Impact on Twitter and, you know, all across the world, even, you know, when they do the live press pass live on Facebook and the beautiful Joe Rush appears, you know, to the world on YouTube. It's a great site. But, you know, I think the matches in general were fantastic. Another match that could have stood out for me, obviously, was you know, Ace Austin versus Trey Miguel and Speedball Mike Bailey. You know, Mike Bailey's a guy that we knew. We said to Mike Bailey before the interview and in the interview, you know, is there any rumors linking it to NXT? I don't think we actually mentioned Impact as far as I recall, but he's making waves there. Matt, did you get a chance to watch Rebellion? I know you had a busy weekend with me. We were at a Buko seminar, the great Buko, Thailand's, you know, the greatest fighter of all time. But did you get a chance to check the highlights? I know you're a busy man, but I do believe you checked in, didn't you, on Rebellion?
Yeah, we were actually worshiping the ground at boot camp, to be fair, not really hanging out with him. But anyway, no, I had a chance, lads, to have a glance through like Rebellion just the other day. And like I said this on the podcast, like Impact has been so good to us, but I never got a chance to really sit down and watch an Impact show. And when I do, I keep saying to myself, I need to watch more of Impact, because I feel like I have Philip in the back of my head saying, yeah, I told you so. We know, Phil. But I had a chance to look at it. I thought, might as well have a watch of Josh Alexander versus Moose. But I saw all the matches basically with Ace Austin and Speedball Mike Bailey. And I was just sat in awe. It was like a fucking unreal pay-per-view, everything done about it. And like, this is someone who, you know, of course, I don't really keep track with Impact, but I know what's going on over there. This show convinced me. It's like, okay, this is it. I'm going to watch Impact here and there now. I'm going to get back in the loop. And it's just, I think that this pay-per-view is actually going to make Impact big, because we've always focused on WWE, AEW, and like little other companies here and there. But I feel like with this pay-per-view, it's going to be like, we're going to have to talk about Impact. It's now back in the loop again, like, so. But yeah, I think I'm going to have to go with Ace Austin and Speedball Mike Bailey, and I keep mispronouncing his name, so feel free to. But the triple threat match is definitely right.
Trey Miguel. Yeah.
Trey Miguel, I was about to say that. I'm going to get kicked in the head by him. But that was probably the match that really got to me. I think I really just enjoyed the X Division matches. And of course, Josh Alexander versus Moose, the build up for that match was just unreal. We've seen everywhere. Jerry, even though it was on Zoom, you can tell Jerry was trying to split them up. So I think that was the real moment to be like, yeah, I'm definitely going to check out this match. But no, loved it, lads. Absolutely. So going to be watching Impact, and I'm being for real this time. For real.
You heard it from the man himself, Mr. Matt Murphy. Phil, they announced obviously Slammiversary. You mentioned that, right? But a fine location in Tennessee.
Yeah, that's the home. That's the home. That's where they started first day.
When I hear Nashville, Tennessee, I always, you know, I don't really put on many American accents, but you know, I always think of Tennessee. So like, it's iconic. Is that where Dixie Carter's from?
I don't know if she's from there, but she's definitely from the surrounding areas.
Yes, nearby in the bush.
There, she gets a lot of like, I know, like she's almost like Tony Khan. She'd be almost dangerous in a lot of ways. If she had more money back in the day, she probably would have killed the company. Would be dead, I'd say.
I'd say Kevin Nash knows it quite well.
Yeah, there's a lot of rumors about that.
Inside
going
and
around.
outside.
Yeah, we can't talk about that.
But anyway, it's Slammiversary's looking good, and I think I won't be surprised if we're going to see a couple of surprises, leading up to that, maybe with some appearances.
Well, there's a couple of things now going on. I heard the Briscoe brothers have signed with Impact. That's going to be good, and Sami Callihan is due back very, very soon. So that'll be also good, and I reckon we might see a few old names come back as well. I don't know who, but maybe Amazing Red.
I heard Enzo may show up as well.
Yeah, that's another one.
Enzo's good for business. I think he's a great talker, as we know firsthand, and he's got the money. Yeah, Liz knows he's got the J Money / Enzo money. He's something else. What about J Money? J Money going to Impact Wrestling, Ireland's own J Money. Maybe Serge Ma. Maybe Serge Ma.
They definitely need more international talent, so why not?
Definitely, and we're still praying for that European tour to happen. Every time we talk to Impact, I always bring it up. So hopefully the European tour is announced very soon.
But there's a couple of things I'd love an LAX reunion. I don't know why, but I just would.
Yeah, it was really good.
There was
a little rumor that Billy Gunn was going to go back to Impact via Forbidden Door. There was this little kind of.
I reckon that Mike Tenay will be on it.
Yeah, good call.
He was on the first ever show with Don. Even if the two lads were there, Don West and Mike Tenay, just to call one match, I wouldn't care.
Yeah,
I just love it.
No, I agree.
But I know Don West is not well, so so I don't know what the situation is with him. Yeah,
time will tell. It's going to be interesting to see what happens over the next few weeks. But Impact, stole the show for us 100%. Definitely are, we normally talk, we talk all organizations, but look, Impact for us was definitely the start of the show. We look forward to Slammiversary June 19th from Nashville, Tennessee. There'll be more news to come on that. Look, we'll have more press passes and we'll have more Impact stars on with us in due course. So do stay tuned to WrestleSlam for that. Also, the WrestleSlam podcast, guys, is brought to you by Manscaped.com. To purchase all your products via Manscaped.com, use the promo code WrestleSlam, 20% off and free shipping. The Manscaped 4.0 package is the one that we are familiar with. Silky smooth, shaving the balls. 8 million balls worldwide, guys. So do check out Manscaped.com. The best products on the market. You know what I mean? No cut, absolutely smooth. You know what I mean? There's no fear whatsoever of shaving those balls, when you have the Manscaped products in your hand. So check out Manscaped.com. A promo code, yet again, WrestleSlam for all our loyal followers and listeners and viewers. So do check that out. So back into Rebellion yet again. Some more matches that we had to mention. Kenny King obviously defeated Crazy Steve via pinfall. Eddie Edwards, of course, defeated Chris Bay as well via pinfall. The Influence, Madison Rain, Tanea Dashwood versus, obviously they defeated the Inspirations, Cassie Lee and Jesse. They were previous guests, obviously, with the quiz with Liz back in the press pass day. When I think it was their, that was their debut, Liz, wasn't it? When they came back to, well, they didn't come back. They re-emerged and you were on the press pass with them. These girls, obviously, look, they took a loss that night, Lizzie, but they have a big future in the world of wrestling, don't they?
Totally. It was just before their debut, and we're only scratching the surface with them because I think it's kind of good that they had a reign and that they lasted again, because I think it just helps build character for them, you know what I mean? And you have to remember as well, we're still trying to steer them away from who they were, and take them in a new direction. So that's going to take time, they had a reign, but I think if they were to have a very, very long reign, they need to develop them more as to who they are and what they're identifying as, because at the moment there are some parallels with
Iconic.
No, Madison Rain and Tenille Dashwood. What's their name?
Inspiration.
No, The Influence. Isn't it? Yeah, sorry. I was like, what is the other I word? Influence, right? There's kind of some parallels there a little bit. So I think we just kind of need to veer them away a little bit. And but yeah, I definitely think we're only scratching the surface with them. And I think there's lots of exciting things to come too. And who knows, maybe some surprises that will throw some challenges that are interesting their way.
Love it. Sure, if you were a booker, right? So if you were a booker right now and you're looking at Impact, right?
Booker G.
Part-time. If you were a booker and you had control of this, right, you're looking at what, first of all, you're looking at what talent's there. You're looking at the great reviews via pay-per-views and, do you know what I mean? The all performances. What would you do to add to this momentum with Impact? Who would you bring in? What would you look at? What would you do?
I don't think really need to bring anybody in. I think they need a network deal. They need to be on a bigger station, a bigger channel, or be involved with a bigger promotion. I know that the whole forbidden door with AEW is being gone now, but I really wish that there was some sort of alliance there with WWE, where they could be on the network, or be on USA Network or Fox or some channel like that, where they come in and help them out on they're on a Thursday night, put them on a Thursday night. They're not competing with WWE in any other schedule. They don't have to be switching brands or putting talent over and different. They could just invest in them, put them on a station on a Thursday night, and just give them that wider audience that they need, because I don't know where they're on in the USA. They're not really on. You can't find them over here. You have to look online, or you have to go through the Impact Plus app, and you have to watch it a couple of days later. You don't get to see stuff straight away on a Thursday. So I just wish there was a bigger channel there, because the talent is there. You saw what happened to Rebellion. You saw what happened in the previous pay-per-views and previous episodes. The talent is there. They just need that platform. And I just wish either somebody would invest in them, or give them a better deal, because they can't put on a proper show.
And even when they poach Impact stars as well, they don't know what to do with them. Do you know what I mean? A lot of them will end up back in Impact, because it's just Impact. The stars there, they're just a rare breed. You know what I mean? And some have been successful, but some as well are kind of coming to the end of the road. So they want to finish their career with it in WWE for the big bucks. Totally understandable. And respected. But a lot of them will end up going back because they just don't know how to. They don't know how. Again, we all know they don't know how to book different, but they just don't know how to move forward with somebody who is insanely talented. Again, not homegrown. They just don't know, and that's what's there in Impact is insane talent. So frustrating.
Phil, I agree, Liz, 100%. It's very frustrating. Phil, do you reckon, with the networks and the whole TV deals, we've seen Impact on the big deals, many years ago, back in the days, Angle, Steiner, Booker T. What do you reckon it is now? Obviously they've built momentum, the reputation's back. They've really worked hard these last year or two to build that momentum and build that platform to show, look, we are the real deal again. Look, things are different to the way they were 4 years ago, 5 years ago, when they really were struggling. So what is it? What is the network looking at? Obviously, look, there is, we know Fight TV, there's a lot of pay-per-views and stuff, but what do they need to do, Phil? What's the next move to secure that big deal?
It's a tough one, because we've talked about this before, where a lot of companies, TV stations, just don't like wrestling in general. So it's really hard. I know at the moment they have the YouTuber Insiders, it's $1 a week or something, where you can watch the latest episodes that way. But Access TV is just wasn't it 100,000 or less they get a weekly?
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, but remember, there was talk there a while back that they were going to put not such WWE. I think they were against it, but the way you had the network, have one wrestling network where everyone pays 40 quid a month or whatever, or I don't know, 30 quid a month, and then you have Impact, you have All Elite, you have everything on that live on top of having them on networks too. You know what I mean? Outside
that would be a dream. That would be a dream world.
Yeah. Unreal, though.
Yeah. I think the egos of Vince McMahon and Tony Khan would not allow that to happen ever.
I reckon Tony's a guy that would do it, though. I think Tony's the guy that would push for it. I think Vince is obviously Vince. You know what I mean? He's all about his own network. The Peacock deal. Switching it about. But just imagine that one network. You have the Disney Channel, right? You have all the things in that, but having that one network where you have All Elite, on whatever night you have
Japan Wrestling. Yeah, no, I get it. It'd be great. It would be really good.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
It would also help Tony Khan's Ring of Honor brand to expand as well, if they could do it that way.
Yeah, speaking of that Ring of Honor brand, because obviously we're going to branch into All Elite and Ring of Honor in general before we go into WWE stuff, heading into WrestleMania Backlash. But what's your take on All Elite these last 7 past days? There's there's obviously a lot of stuff happening. You know, we've seen MJF in Liverpool. He was talking shit, and you know, it seems like they had the freedom to do what they want really outside of the business. You know, within due course and a bit of respect, they don't really go overboard. But you know, is Ring of Honor, you know what I mean, something you want to see kind of back on the scene fast?
I don't know. It's a tough one because like even when they were kind of just going back there last year, they were getting very, very like poor. Their numbers were not good. For comparison, there now, like was the Final Battle got 800 buys, and the last one they did recently got 20,000 buys. That's just because Tony Khan.
Yeah, it was the star quality they had on it, like. And
yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I don't know how to answer that because I don't know what they could do because do you ever watch that interview of Mike Tenay and Vince Russo? They sit down, you know, the one You're My Hero, and
yeah.
That's an example of this. Like, no one's going to watch a 2-hour wrestling show. Not the casuals, not the people who are already there are there. You know
what Tony Khan's looking to do, he wants all the AEW stars to have the Ring of Honor belts. That's why, you know, Joe got the TV title, or not the TV title, but the what did he get? Was it the TV title? No, it was Wheeler Yuta got the TV title. Yeah. Wheeler Yuta got the other one. So obviously, if Deon Purrazzo ends up, you know, has a match with Britt Baker or ends up in AEW in the tournament, like that, she'll drop that title to somebody. Whether Deanna stays around AEW or not, I'm not sure, but they want to get that title off her, and they want
that's the match after before.
I feel like that's what Tony Khan wants to aim for with Ring of Honor. Bring all the AEW stars on it to get more people invested with Ring of Honor. When they slowly bring in like the Ring of Honor originals and all the AEW stuff like back off, they're gonna no longer care about Ring of Honor. Go back to All Elite Wrestling.
Yeah,
that's what they did with Impact when Kenny Omega announced he was going on Impact. Everyone just watched Impact for the first time to see Kenny Omega. But like,
it didn't work though.
It didn't work. No, that's the thing. Like, and but it was a good way to have people invested with Impact. So I feel like that's what Tony Khan's going to do with Ring of Honor. It's probably not going to work, but it will have people get back and watch Ring of Honor. It's like, I think we said this a while back. It's just about I think we pitched a wrestling network idea, going back with Jerry said before. Is like there's so many things going on in wrestling lands that it'd be difficult for a lot of lads to like sit down and watch what's going on, like in New Japan, in Impact, the moment, Ring of Honor, WWE, NXT. Okay, forget NXT for a bit. But anyway, maybe if we're going to actually have one big massive network, that's something a dream. We have to pay extra maybe, but like be handy for all of us. Like, I know that'd be good.
If the AEW and Discovery deal goes through, there is a rumor that they may have some sort of deal where everything will move on to a network. You know, they'll take AEW off TV and put it onto its own network, so they won't have to worry about it.
Like the shopping channel.
The shopping channel.
I remember that 4:00 in the morning, wired off your trolley.
My only issue is with Tony Khan, he can't change Ring of Honor too much because Ring of Honor purists will absolutely annihilate. So he's in a no-win situation with it. But like, if that's the case, Ring of Honor should stay with wrestling, and AEW needs to, I don't want to say go full on mad with sports entertainment, but definitely push it.
TV deal for Ring of Honor needs to have a spot on a Monday or whenever, some day of the week where they're going to have a weekly show or monthly.
Thursday night, I reckon they'll put it on, and that's sad.
That'll destroy Impact then. Though.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. I know this is a random company. This is a random thing for me to say, but what about the NWA?
Yeah, no one mentions them. It's very rare we mention them, and we have to be honest here because people.
They have a deal on Fight where you pay like $50 a year and you get all their pay-per-views and shows.
Yeah, I don't want to sound like a wrestling hipster, but I feel like that's the show, that's the company that's still going on longer, like, and people need to invest in it. Like,
the thing about that show is the nostalgia of it looks really cool, but after 2 weeks, it becomes like if you keep watching it, it becomes so dated looking. It just looks. The aesthetics of it don't look? It's almost like Impact. It's the same issue. The aesthetics just don't bring it up to that level of Raw or SmackDown or.
Philip Conley, them words are exciting me. Jesus.
Yeah. No, but I prefer now if Impact did the old. I said on the last show last Thursday, if they did the old arena, that was so much more lively, I suppose.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like personally, I think when I think about it, like I reckon Ring of Honor is there to be like the I suppose the NXT of WWE. Do you know what I mean? Where they have so much talent, they don't know what to do with it. They'll get rid of All Elite Dark. They'll push some wrestlers to Ring of Honor, and then you're gonna have Ring of Honor on before whatever, and then that's the way they're gonna kind of juggle it. But it'll be interesting to see what does happen in due course. Another thing that's exciting me obviously is the Forbidden Door. All Elite versus New Japan Pro Wrestling. We got the statement. The announcement was last week, but that's going to be a really good pay-per-view and something I'm really looking forward to. Jor, great news to see that happen.
Delighted to see that happening. We talked about it on Thursday night. There's definitely going to be some dream matches. That if you're a hardcore New Japan fan, like and you're into American wrestling, like you're going to get these matches with maybe if Kenny Omega is fit again, against whoever, Tanahashi or Okada or something, or CM Punk, Bryan Danielson having matches with New Japan stars, like it's a dream come true. Like considering CM Punk retired and want to come back, and Bryan Danielson has been retired and come back, and these are matches you never think you're ever going to see. So I'm excited to see what they announce. Like, so hopefully it's a big match, hopefully it's a big pay-per-view and there's no AEW bad ending to a pay-per-view what's going to take away from the whole show. Like, I hope there's no fucking death matches with fucking exploding barbed wire anymore. Like, they're not going to try and hype up the pay-per-view with gimmicks. They just stick to strong style matches and just let them beat the shit out of each other. Really,
they don't need it. They don't need the gimmicks with the talent that's going to be on that card, the potential of talent and matches that is going to be on that card. There is no need for, like, hardcore wrestling fans. This is just a wet dream for them. Like, it really, really is. So no need for gimmicks, any of that shite. It's not needed because the work alone will carry the attention right through.
Like I said it last Thursday, I think CM Punk, Hangman Page should main event Double or Nothing, but Punk should get taken out by whoever he's fighting.
I was just going to run these.
Yeah, exactly. Will Ospreay, just take him. Like, he has to cost him the match because Punk can't win that match. He really can't.
I was just going to run. Like, are you saying you don't want to see like a piranha man-eating match at all? That's an actual match. Look it up, lads, in New Japan.
Yeah, it's look.
I'll have a look.
Like, for me, I'm going to ask that question. Like, you know what I mean? When we talk about this pay-per-view, like, there's so many dream matches, but like Phil, for you, what's that big match? What is the really big match? You look at all the roster of the New Japan Pro Wrestling, right? You look at the guys that aren't there right now, the legends that might come back. For you, what's a big block up? Like, what's the blockbuster match? You know what I mean? That's
the one they all talk about is Okada and Bryan Danielson. But I think they might want that in Japan. I don't know. Will they want that at Wrestle Kingdom?
Well, it's probably fair to say, Phil, is going to be a return leg. We'll have one in America, one in Japan. That's got to be the way it's going to be in the Dome.
Well, Wrestle Kingdom in January will be all. But like, I reckon, I said it before, Moxley and them will be in there, the 6-man tag versus the United Empire, which I really want to see that match. Like Jeff Cobb I don't know what happened there with him, with AEW, because he's so talented.
Yeah, a lot of people there's obviously a lot of people mentioning Jeff. I know they're mentioning Murphy as well. Murphy's not really getting much of a, he kind of broke onto the scene and he's not really doing much. Even Malachi Black, you know what I mean? I think he's kind of.
Who should CM Punk fight?
I don't know. That's something we should put up on the WrestleSlam podcast Twitter page. Who should it be? Jor might know.
Well, I stuck up a poll last week before we went on, and there was like 4 options, and the one that won the poll was the Bullet Club versus the Undisputed Elite.
Well, Balor, I think Balor is definitely fucking on his own. There's a lot of stuff on Twitter. If you watch his activity, guys, he's put a lot of fan art up as well. Like,
yeah, I don't know. His contract wouldn't let him. Like, even if he left, he's 3 months. Unless his contract expires between now and June, but I don't think it's due to expire. But.
Does anyone have an exact date of the contract? No one will know really with that. They don't really put that stuff. I'll have to give him a ring. I'll have to ring him, track him now.
I guarantee you, it's June 25th. I guarantee you.
Yeah. Finn said that he absolutely loves the Forbidden Door. I feel like he wants to be a part of it, but of course he can't because of this independent company he's with called WWE. But like, if once he gets a chance, he's going to be joining the Forbidden Door.
I will say one thing. This is the one thing I love about wrestling. He could be so dead on one side, and he'll come out and as a Bullet Club on this side.
If he was in AEW, he'd be main event, and like AEW, like he'd be the guy. Like he's he's 40 or 41, whatever age he is. Like
he's got a good 3 or 4 years left in him. Yeah.
Yeah, he said it himself. Like he's only got maybe till he's 45, and he wants to retire then. Like so, 4 more years. Like if he went to AEW for a couple of years, or even back to Japan for a couple of years, and finish off his career as a superstar. Pardon the pun, like, but he's not a superstar in WWE at the minute. He's just,
2024.
Is he?
Right.
Lizzie, is Balor a Hall of Famer? WWE.
Oh God, yeah, multiple in so many different promotions. It's ridiculous. Absolutely, without a doubt. WWE, he should be, but I don't know if he has enough legacy with them. Does that make sense? Like, I don't have to explain that any better. And that's through no fault of his. Absolutely through no fault of his. I don't have to explain any better. We were just saying there, December 2024 is when his contract expires at WWE, unless he asks for his release. And they'll never give to him because they know exactly where he's fucking going, like.
Yeah, and that brings up another fucking 400,000-500,000 followers then on that side of the pond. So yeah, it's interesting to see what will happen. We all know, as Phil perfectly put it, Balor is a fucking national treasure somewhere else. And where he is right now, he's kind of in a mixed boat. The boat's sailing, it's coming back. And it's like they've never really trusted him after that injury. The Universal title. He's never really had a major push, although I thought he was going to beat Roman that time. The ring collapsed and he fell, and that was interesting. I thought for some reason I really thought Balor was going to win that night. But anyway, it's interesting. We're going to quickly switch. We have about 5 minutes left, but obviously, there's been some announcements via WWE. So obviously AJ Styles versus Edge will be the rematch at WrestleMania Backlash. We know Bianca Belair tonight will take on Sonya Deville. Interesting match. Sonya, I think Phil actually said that a few weeks back that Sonya is going to be stepping in to face her. SmackDown wise, obviously Charlotte and Ronda, tearing the living shit out of each other. Madcap Moss is annoying everyone. I think he's annoying everyone. Personally, I'm not a fan, but look, people might agree, might disagree. We've obviously seen a bit of a little run between Sami Zayn and Drew McIntyre. So that's good. Sami's in the spotlight. I think, a worthy opponent in Drew McIntyre.
Actually, he should go face and fight Reigns. It would be good.
Sami?
Yeah, I'd love it.
I love it too. I would. I'm telling you, I love Sami. I think Sami is a national treasure. Canada should have a big statue at every fucking airport for him. I think personally he's really good, so underrated. The way he came out after the Knoxville match saying it was one of the best matches he's ever had. I absolutely love him.
Sorry.
He's unreal. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens with him because he's on a real run in my opinion.
I'm just the only thing about WWE at the moment, I can't get over how bad Kevin Owens is booked after this Austin match.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's not even funny. It's that bad. It's just like this is terrible.
It's shocking. Do you know what I mean? I think Vince was more interested in Lacey Evans' return and pushing her to the rafters, which is great. We're all big fans. Lizzie's a massive fan. I think Lacey Evans is definitely, I love her. I love the fact, an ex-Marine. She wanted to be a mother. She took time away. Doesn't rush. You know what I mean? She doesn't move to no one. She's just Lacey Evans, and at the end of the day, that's the way you should be. Do you know what I mean? Family first, and that's what she wanted. Looking forward to seeing what she does in the next couple of months. I reckon she will pop out. Maybe at Backlash, she might attack someone. She might go after Rosie, maybe, or someone. I think that'd be fucking epic, in my opinion.
They can't get it wrong with her now. Leave her be exactly who she is now. Do you know what I mean? She's just got if they do this right, she will be absolutely huge. I loved Nasties. I loved when she was the All-American. I loved when she was doing the Marine and when she started in NXT. There's just so many layers to her. Just do not fuck up face Lacey Evans. She is just everyone's inspiration and aspiration, and her story is just so vivid and rings true to so many people. Just do not fuck up Lacey Evans because she's ridiculous. Like she's just she's so much I get so frustrated with Lacey Evans because I think she's phenomenal, and I'd just be so fucked off if they mess this up.
Let it play out.
I have one.
No, because you always say everything with WWE, let it play out, and I might as well be playing the world's smallest fucking violin because there's nothing being played out. It's just forgotten.
I love it. You don't fuck with Lizzie either. That's a fact.
Can you buy?
You don't fuck with Lizzie.
But the other thing as well, like Asuka's back tonight as well.
Asuka's back. Becky Lynch. That's the rumor. You know, a lot of love, a lot of history there. We always remember that segment where Becky said, "I'm pregnant." You pregnant? You know, I think the whole fucking thing was epic. You know what I mean? I think that was a surreal moment. And I absolutely love Asuka. You know what I mean? I've seen her. I'm lucky enough to see her at Mania in New Orleans when Charlotte beat her. I was like, fuck. You know, that was her moment in my opinion. But look, yes, she's an absolute legend, and I'm glad she's coming back. That's the rumor. She is officially coming back, don't she?
The next few weeks, but it's rumored to be tonight.
Yeah. So look, hopefully that happens, and we'll be rooting. Even though Becky's one of our own, even though Becky's a monster lady, you know, born in Limerick. The Dubs trying to claim her, but look, she's a Limerick lady. She's a monster lady. So yet again, guys, look, thank you very much for tuning in to the WrestleSlam podcast, brought to you by Manscaped.com. 20% off via WrestleSlam. That is your promo code. From myself, from Jerry, from Liz, from Matt and Phil. Thank you very much. Don't forget, guys, as you will already know, we did set up a new YouTube channel there a couple of months back. So on that channel, we've over 50,000 views, which is great. So we have new platforms. So do check out all our latest videos there as well. There's all the latest shows, a midweek show, the quiz with Liz with a good old big demo, and there's much more. So do check it out. Also, Joe Rush with Josh Alexander and Moose. The question he asked on the press pass is there. So check out the WrestleSlam podcast on YouTube, and do subscribe to Slam Wrestling, aka WrestleSlam podcast on Twitter.